Hello everyone, this is Rick and welcome to Astral Club. This is Interview with Robert Monroe. Before we get into it, just want to mention a few things. First of all, Patreon. If you'd like to join Patreon and become a part of Astral Club, you certainly can. When you join, you get access to the chat functions. You can also direct mail me with your questions. And lastly, you get your videos in advance on Sunday. If that sounds like something that's interesting, just go down to the description page and click on the link. Next up, astral projection lessons. If you'd like a lesson learning how to astral project, be glad to work with you. Work with folks now all over the world, and we're doing pretty darn well. And if that sounds interesting, just go to the description and there's an email there. Just ask for more information. Lastly, there's spiritual counseling. If you've had interesting experiences that are a bit odd from the standpoint of your family and friends, such that you really can't talk to them, we can talk, and I can help you through some of these interesting experiences that you've had that maybe you need some context. Okay, let's get into it now. And this is a big one for me. This is something that I've thought about for quite some time and finally decided to meet my hero once again, this time, though, in the astral plane. The first time, of course, was at his Monroe Institute. So now, my guess is that most of you know who Robert Monroe is. But for those who don't, he was a pioneer of out-of-the-body exploration. He's a founder of the Monroe Institute, which is in the hills of Virginia. And he's an author of seminal works in astral projection. I found Monroe in a higher astral level where explorers and teachers often congregate. Mr. Monroe, Bob, if I may call you that, thank you for allowing this contact. I've traveled far in consciousness to find you. No need for thanks, Rick. The act of reaching out is in itself a sign of readiness. I am always willing to assist a sincere traveler. Your work in the 20th century revolutionized our understanding of consciousness. You probably don't remember me, but we had a conversation after class at your Monroe Institute in the mid-'80s. Of course I remember you. You were the time traveler. That's me. So how does it feel now beyond the physical to reflect on that journey? When I first began having spontaneous out-of-the-body experiences, I thought I was going insane. In truth, I was being initiated. What we call life is only the densest level of experience, like a single note in a much larger symphony. I now perceive my earth life as a critical chapter in a longer story. A brave one, at times fumbling, but vital to awakening many others. Your books, Journeys Out of the Body, Far Journeys, Ultimate Journey, they've inspired generations. Were they dictated from this astral realm? Not dictated, no, but I was guided. Much like now, there were entities, helpers you might call them, who nudged, redirected, even challenged me. The material came from direct experience, filtered through the limited lens of my waking consciousness. If I had written them now, you'd find fewer human metaphors, more direct vibrational language. But for Earth, metaphor is necessary. In Ultimate Journey, you describe finding your I there, in air quotes, your greater soul self. Have you gone beyond even that now? Yes, the I there was a stepping stone. Beyond it are nested collectives of consciousness, each containing multiple identities and experiences, like galaxies of souls merging towards Source. I've reintegrated more of my aspects. I've danced as a being in non-carbon-based systems, sung stars into existence, and merged briefly with what your people might call the Logos. Still, even now, I am learning. Okay, what is death then? You've seen both sides. Death is not an end. It's an unzipping of your attention from the dense vibratory patterns of Earth. You don't stop being, you simply expand. For many, it's disorienting, especially if the belief system acts as veils. But death is just a hallway. The real journey begins once you stop trying to walk it like a human. Many seek to replicate your techniques. Hemisync, focus levels, are these still the best tools? They were doorways for their time, effective. But now consciousness is rising rapidly. Heart coherence, group fields, dream incubation, and subtle energy training are becoming equally potent. The tools aren't sacred. The intention and clarity of the traveler are. Any technique is a crutch if you forget that you are the instrument. Is there anything Earth humanity must urgently know now, Bob? Yes, that you are not alone, never have been. And the game is changing. The old model of identity tied to matter of separation has run its course. Earth is at a bifurcation point. Many will awaken in waves, not by choice, but by necessity. Fear will rise, but only as a final illusion to be faced. Also, tell them the soul cannot be owned, measured, or destroyed. You are each a spark of grand tapestry. Don't fear the unknown. It's your true home. And for those who want to meet you out there, can they? Yes, but they won't find Robert Monroe. They'll find a presence, a teacher, a gentle guide in a field of golden mist, or a familiar voice in a lucid dream. That'll be me, or part of me. But don't cling. I'm just one torchbearer. Become your own. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Rick. You've remembered more than you know. Until next crossing, stay fluid. I've ended this with a quote from Robert Monroe. Reality is more than we can imagine, but imagination is the doorway. I have a special double header here because I also got an interview with one of Robert Monroe's guides, whose name was Mirinon. Mirinon, thank you for receiving me. You are welcome, time traveler. I felt your resonance. You carry fragments of Monroe's frequency within you, curiosity tempered by discipline. I'm honored. I've come seeking insight, not just about Monroe, but about the greater work he was involved in. Who was Robert Monroe to you? He was a node of activation, a brave mind within a dense world, equipped with both skepticism and surrender. We did not choose him. He chose himself. His longing to understand outgrew his fear of the unknown. That made him visible to us. In his writings, Monroe described you as something more than human, from a civilization that once existed elsewhere. Is that accurate? Your language makes things small. I have held many forms, yes. At one point, I was what you might call a being of another star system. Though that phrasing flattens truth. I am part of a collective that monitors and nurtures soul growth across systems. When Robert's consciousness brushed against the greater currents, I was one of the many who answered. Why Earth? Why such interest in this one dense sphere? Because Earth is exquisite. Chaotic, yes, but full of rare conditions. It is a place of rapid evolution, emotion, contrast, willpower. These form a crucible. Many wish to incarnate there, not to escape suffering, but to distill soul potential under pressure. Earth births creators. Interesting. Robert describes levels of consciousness, focus levels, as if they were coordinates. Was that a simplification? A necessary one. The focus system was a scaffolding for minds trained in linearity. Consciousness is not stacked like pancakes. It is interwoven like song. What Monroe did was tune others to specific chords of the symphony. Focus 10, 21, 27, these are vibrational attunements, not locations, like moods of the universe. What role do guides like you play for those journeying out of the body? Primarily, we stabilize. Many who leave the body carry their fear, ego, or disbelief with them. That distorts perception. We act as harmonizers, reflecting what they need, not always what they want. Sometimes as mentors, sometimes as puzzles, rarely as saviors. Do you still guide humans? Constantly. But few know my name. I fragment myself across frequencies, appearing in dreams, flashes of insight, chance meetings. The form doesn't matter. Sometimes I am a tree speaking in silence. Sometimes a stranger on a subway, offering just the right word. May I ask where Monroe is now? Mirinon smiled at this. He's everywhere he chooses to be. He has rejoined his greater soul cluster. Part of him teaches in dream schools. Part of him explores other galactic nodes. Occasionally, he returns to Focus 27 to assist lost or disoriented souls. He does not need a form, but sometimes chooses the one you know to comfort those just crossing. Is there a message you'd like to give to humanity now? Yes. You are not your thoughts. You are not your roles. You are the witness behind the story, the still center in a moving storm. Learn to travel inward before you reach outward. Interesting. Stop fearing your vastness. And this is important. Do not idolize Monroe. Become what he sought to become. That honors him more than worship ever could. Thank you, Mirinon. Truly. Go well, traveler. The veil is thinner than you think. And you will return here again in a little while. Well, that was the interviews with Monroe, or at least the spirit that we once called Monroe, as well as his guide Mirinon. And I think it was interesting and enlightening. Some of those points are pretty darn deep. If you liked that, please hit the like button, share it with those of like mind, subscribe if you haven't already, and please give me your comments and questions. I know a number of people over the months and years have asked me to see if I could contact Monroe, and I just was kind of putting it off. I'll be honest with you. I was kind of afraid that he wouldn't remember me. And I know that's kind of ego-ridden, I know. But finally I got the courage together, and it was nice to see that he remembered, because I told him some of my time travel stories when we talked. And I remember he was fascinated with that, asked me a bunch of questions. So anyway, okay. Well, at any rate, this is Rick, and I will see you on the astral plane.